Hi, my name is Clara Venn, and I'm 29 years old. This isn't something I ever wanted to tell the world, not because I'm ashamed, but because I didn't think anyone would believe me. It all started when I moved into my sister's abandoned house. After she vanished, she left no note, no signs of struggle, just her phone on the kitchen counter. And a room with the door nailed shut from the inside. What I found behind that door still keeps me awake. Before I share everything, please subscribe, like, and share this story with someone who loves chilling tales rooted in real emotion and suspense. This story is written and edited by Dark Lifeside Diaries. Now, let's begin. When the cops finally stopped looking for my sister, I was the only one still showing up at her house every weekend. I knock, unlock, paste, cry, repeat. I kept thinking I'd find some small sign. She just stepped out a grocery list, her keys, maybe a voicemail she forgot to play. But after 4 months, the silence in her house became a living thing. It grew in the corners, breathed through the floorboards, and when the mortgage company told me I could either assume the property or let it be auctioned, I chose to move in. That was my first mistake. The second opening the room she nailed shut, the door looked innocent enough, just a plain white bedroom door at the end of the hall. But there were 7 rusted nails driven through the edges, crooked and uneven, as if someone had sealed it in a panic, not a professional job, a desperate one. I stared at that door for days, convincing myself not to touch it. But one night, after hearing footsteps pacing behind it at 2:37 a.m., I grabbed a hammer. I still remember the sound each nail made as it came loose, like the house itself exhaled. The door opened easily once they were gone. It wasn't a bedroom, it was a recording studio, dim, claustrophobic, the walls covered in soundproof foam. A mic still sat on a stand in the center, plugged into a laptop that was somehow still charging, though the power in the house had been shut off for weeks. I pressed the spacebar. File played. It was my sister's voice, ragged, terrified, whispering like someone else was listening too. She said, "If anyone finds this, I'm sorry." I didn't mean to hear it, but once you do, it starts talking back. Then there was a low hiss, like static being pulled apart, and then my sister said one last thing before the recording cut out. She whispered, "Clara, don't open the closet." That's when I noticed something in the corner of the studio, a small black door, the closet she'd sealed shut from the inside. I should have left the house that night. Should have run back to my car, driven until the engine gave out, and never looked back. But I didn't. My hand was already on the knob of the small black closet door, and something behind it was waiting. Not clawing or thumping, that would have been easier. No, this was worse. It was still too still, like the silence was bracing for me to move first. The door felt warm, which didn't make sense. The rest of the house was ice cold. I stood there paralyzed while my sister's voice echoed in my head. "Clara, don't open the closet." But I did. Inside it wasn't deep, just 3 feet wide, maybe 4 feet tall, lined with more soundproof padding, but something had been clawing through it. Long gouges ran down the foam underneath it. I saw scratches in the wood, as if something had tried to carve a message and failed. But it wasn't empty. In the corner under a thin black sheet was an old tape recorder, analog, out of place among the digital equipment. I picked it up, hit play, and at first all I heard was static, then breathing, then my name, "Clara. You hear me now?" I froze because that wasn't my sister's voice. It was a man's, deep, broken, but familiar in a way I couldn't explain. Like hearing a lullaby you don't remember learning. My body shivered from the inside out. Then he said, "You've already spoken back. That's how it starts. She heard you through the walls. Now she want to trade." Trade? I paused, the tape, heart pounding, and that's when the mic in the studio, the one on the stand that hadn't worked in years, lit up. Red recording. I hadn't touched it, but something was recording me now. On the laptop screen, a new file appeared. Its title typed itself out in real time. Her voice taken. I slammed the lid shut and backed away, but it was too late. The air around me thickened. My ears rang. The padding on the walls looked like it was moving, pulsing, like it was breathing. Then I heard her, not my sister, the one my sister had heard, a whisper right behind my ear in a voice like glass being dragged across bone. "Your voice sounds better than hers." I ran, no shoes, no phone, just sprinted out the front door into the night with that horrible voice still slithering around inside my skull. The thing wasn't just whispering, it was repeating every breath I took. She took with me. I could feel her mimicking me inside my lungs. I collapsed in the grass halfway down the block, gagging, trying to scream, but every sound I made echoed back, distorted, like it wasn't mine anymore. My voice was unraveling, knit, stolen, all at once, but thread by thread. I called my friend Mallory from a payphone at a gas station 2 miles away, told her I needed help. I didn't say why, I just said, "Please come, I'm at Winton and Bell, I'm not safe." She heard the panic in my Voice she came. Mallory stayed with me the next 3 nights. We slept at my apartment across town. I didn't go near the house. I didn't even look at photos of it. I thought I could starve the thing by silence, be distance. But then on the 4th night, Mallory came into the room pale as bone, holding her phone. "Clara," she said, "why did you text me a voice memo at 3 a.m.? I had to snatch the phone and played the message. It was me, my voice only. I wasn't speaking, I was singing a lullaby. One I didn't recognize, and underneath it, faint but clear, another voice whispered, 'Now you've heard her too.' Mallory backed away like I was contagious. 'That's not you,' she said. 'That's not your voice anymore.' I wanted to deny it, scream at her to stay, but I knew she was right. Something from that room had stitched itself into my vocal cords. I could feel it when I swallowed. Every time I opened my mouth, I didn't know whose sound would come out. I went back to the house. The next day alone, when I stepped inside, the air didn't feel hostile, it felt hungry. The laptop was still open on the desk. A new file was already there, blinking red. Sing for her draft, and on the mic stand, taped there in black electrical tape was a note written in my sister's handwriting. It said, "You can't outrun a voice that isn't yours. You can only drown it with another." Then below that, in a second hand, thinner, etched like it was carved with a nail, "Sing, or she scream through you." I don't remember sitting down at the mic one moment. I was staring at the note taped to it, heart racing the next. I was adjusting the stand to my height like it had always belonged to me. My hands moved on their own. The red light blinked, recording. I hadn't hit anything, but the machine knew. The house knew. She knew. I tried to speak, but nothing came out, only breath. That's when I heard it. A soft humming beneath the floorboards, matching the rise and fall of my lungs. Not a song, not yet, just a note held perfectly still. Then my voice joined it, not words, not melody. Just sound, low, slow, cracked like something rising from the bottom of a well. My body wasn't doing it. It was being used, and I realized I wasn't singing. For her, I was singing as her. My throat scratched like something was trying to climb out. I tried to pull back, but my feet were rooted, stuck to the floor like glue. My reflection in the black screen of the laptop looked wrong. My mouth moved slower than my body. My eyes flickered in delay. I was becoming uncensored. Then she spoke not aloud, but through every speaker in the room, even the unplugged ones. She wouldn't finish the song, so I finished her. My sister, she hadn't vanished. She had become the song. I stopped singing for 1 second, 1 breath, and the sound exploded. The mic shattered, foam ripped from the walls. My ears rang so loud I dropped to my knees, clutching my head, but I heard it again, the same lullaby, this time from inside the closet. It was her voice, my sister. She was still there. I stumbled to the small black door in the corner, now hanging open. I reached and felt the dark suck me in, colder than any air I've ever known. But deep in that dark, I found out a cassette tape, labeled in her handwriting, "My last voice, do not play." I played it and everything changed. The second I hit play on the cassette, the house went silent, not quiet, dead. No hum from the fridge, no ticking from the pipes, not even my own breath in my ears. It felt like I'd stepped out of time, and the only thing still moving was that black tape turning inside the machine. The recording began with static, then coughing, harsh, broken gasps. It was her, my sister. She sounded exhausted, not just physically, but like something had been dragging her voice across sandpaper for days. Then she spoke, and I felt my chest cave in. "Clara, if you're listening to this, I broke the rules. I listened too long," I answered back, "and now she's in me." I grabbed the mic. "I'm here," I whispered, stupidly forgetting she couldn't hear me through the past. "I'm here," she continued. "The room doesn't just record, it collects. Every time we sing, she gets stronger. She keeps what she likes and copies the rest. She's not just mimicking us anymore, she's remixing us." The image of the tape crackled. A voice overlaid hers. It was mine. "Clara, Clara, can I keep your breath next?" I yanked the tape out, but it didn't stop. The voice kept going through the walls, through the air, through my mouth. That's when I realized it wasn't coming from the tape anymore. It was coming from inside. Mesh had found a way in, not by stealing me outright, but by turning me into her speaker. I couldn't stop talking. My jaw moved without me. My lips whispered songs I didn't know I ran into the bathroom and screamed into the mirror, "Get out of me." The reflection didn't move. It blinked before I did. Then it smiled. "She's almost done mixing." The floor beneath me rumbled. Foam peeled off the walls outside the bathroom, exposing raw wood carved with names, dozens, hundreds, all women, all singers, all vanished, all voices in the same track. My sister wasn't missing. She was playing on loop, and now I was part of the remix. I ran, not out of fear, but to buy time. My legs moved while my mouth kept whispering against my will. I could feel her inside me, remixing every breath into something darker, heavier. The room had turned me into a speaker and she was cranking the volume, but I wasn't just another sample, I was the last track. And deep down I knew, if I let her finish, the next voice she'd wear wouldn't be mine, it'd be anyone's. She was ready to stream. I slammed the bathroom door shut and locked it. That didn't matter, of course, she didn't use doors, she used. Sound. The mirror worked again, my reflection moved independently, now mouthing something slower than I was saying it aloud. It laughed. Not because it thought it had won, but because it thought I couldn't. But I still had one weapon left: silence. If the room fed on recordings and songs, on screams, on spoken names, then I had to take away its food. I grabbed the scissors from the drawer and stared at my throat, but I didn't cut, I couldn't. Instead, I unplugged everything: the mic, the laptop, the speakers. Then I did the unthinkable. I set the whole studio on fire. At first, it didn't fight back. The flames moved slow, lazy, licking up the foam and cords, but when the closet caught, when the cassette tapes began melting, screamed. Not through my mouth this time, but through the walls, through every nail and floorboard and beam that had ever held a sound inside. It was like hearing 1,000 voices get erased at once, then silence, real silence. I crawled out of the house before the roof caved and the fire trucks came. They called it an electrical accident. But I know better. The next day I couldn't speak, not because I was scared, because I had chosen not to. And she's not in me anymore. I write now. That's how I tell stories, because I know that some sounds were never meant to be heard, only buried. Thank you for listening to The Room She Nailed Shut. Written and edited by Dark Lifeside Diaries. If this story gave you chills, made you look twice at your mic, or reminded you that some voices aren't yours to use, so please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's ever been afraid of their own reflection. Tell us in the comments, if your voice was haunted, would you stay silent to survive?